All right, let's just jump right in. Think about the world around us. We're surrounded by buildings made of steel, glass, and concrete. They're strong, sure. They're solid. But they're also kind of static, lifeless, you know? But what if that could change? What if our architecture could take a page from biology's playbook? No, really, think about it. What if a crack in a bridge could just mend itself? Kind of like how a cut on your skin heals over. Or what if we could grow a skyscraper out of simple farm waste and have it leave literally no trace behind when it's gone? It sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, but believe me, it is happening right now. Welcome to the world of biodesign. This is a game-changing field that's not just about building for nature, but actually building with it. We're talking about partnering up with some of the planet's oldest, most efficient builders, microorganisms. And to really get how this works, we've got to start with the single most common building material on Earth. That's right, concrete. It's the backbone of our modern world. It's in our homes, our bridges, our highways. It's everywhere. But it has a secret weakness, a fatal flaw. Every single concrete structure, and I mean every single one, is destined to crack. It's just a matter of time. Whether it's from temperature changes or stress or just aging, those fractures are totally inevitable. And a tiny little crack might not seem like a big deal, but it's really the beginning of the end. See, a crack is basically an open door. Water gets inside, bringing salts and other nasty chemicals with it. It creeps down until it reaches the steel rebar inside the concrete, and then that steel starts to rust and expand. And what does that do? It creates even bigger cracks. It's this vicious cycle that just eats away at the structure from the inside out, leading to incredibly costly, constant repairs. So, what if we could stop that cycle right at the source? And this brings us to our first amazing example of biodesign in action. We're not just patching up concrete anymore, we're teaching it how to heal itself. The solution is as brilliant as it is tiny. Researchers are mixing specific types of bacteria right into the wet concrete before it's even poured. Now, these aren't your average bacteria. They are super tough survivors that can handle the harsh chemical environment inside concrete, where they just lie dormant for years, waiting for the signal to get to work. And here they are. This is what you're looking at, a liquid culture of Bacillus subtilis. These little guys can survive in this intensely alkaline world inside concrete, a place where most life just couldn't make it. They're essentially put to sleep inside the structure like a team of microscopic medics just on standby. So how exactly do they do their job? Well, it's this really elegant four-step process. First, a tiny crack forms and water seeps in. That's the wake-up call. The water and oxygen revive the dormant bacteria. Then they start to chow down on a special food source, calcium lactate, that was mixed into the concrete right along with them. And here's the magic trick. Their waste product is limestone, or calcium carbonate. This limestone hardens and seals the crack completely, from the inside out. The building literally heals its own wounds. And get this, the process doesn't just fix the damage, it actually makes the concrete stronger. This chart shows a pretty incredible result from a study. After only 7 days, the bioconcrete was 20% stronger than the regular stuff. So those limestone deposits don't just fill cracks, they actually reinforce the material's entire internal structure. And here, this is the visual proof. This image was taken with a crazy powerful electron microscope, and it shows you exactly what's happening. You can see the white crystals of calcium carbonate, the limestone, that the bacteria produced. They've grown to completely fill this microcrack, locking the concrete back together. It's a perfect, natural repair job, all happening on a scale way too small for our eyes to see. Okay, so that's how we can make our old materials smarter and way more durable. But what if we could create entirely new materials that are grown, not manufactured? Let's jump to our next case study, which is going to blow your mind. Meet hi-fi. Back in 2014, this thing stood over 40 feet tall in a courtyard in New York City. But what made it so revolutionary wasn't its height or its cool shape. It was the fact that its 10,000 bricks were created with almost no energy, zero carbon emissions, and absolutely no waste. The secret was in these so-called organic bricks. So here's how they did it. They started with agricultural waste, basically shredded up corn stalks. Then they introduced mushroom mycelium. That's the root-like network of fungi. You put this mix in a mold and the mycelium just does its thing. It acts like a natural living glue, growing all through the corn stalks and binding them together into a solid, lightweight, and surprisingly strong block. And the best part? The whole process is powered by nature, not some giant energy-guzzling factory. And the life cycle of this tower is just a perfect circle. The bricks were grown in just a matter of days.
The tower stood for 3 months as a public space. Then it was taken down. But instead of being hauled off to a landfill, the bricks were composted. Within 60 days, they turned back into nutrient-rich soil, which was then given to local community gardens. From a farm to a building and right back to the farm. Amazing. This quote from the project's architect, David Benjamin, just hits the nail on the head. He said, "This was a project to disappear as much as it was a project to appear." The goal wasn't to build a permanent monument. It was to show that we can create temporary architecture that appears, serves a purpose, and then just vanishes back into the natural cycle without leaving a scar.
So, we've just seen two incredible, but very different, examples of biodesign. One makes our infrastructure last for ages, and the other creates buildings that are designed to disappear. So, what does this tell us about what's coming next? It shows us that biodesign isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. It's more like a toolkit with different tools for different jobs. On one hand, you've got bacteria being used to make our permanent structures last longer, aiming for ultimate durability. And on the other, you have fungi growing temporary buildings out of waste, aiming for perfect circularity and zero waste. One fixes, the other one grows. But both work in partnership with nature, not against it. And that really just leaves us with this huge, fascinating question. If we can already use bacteria to heal our roads and fungi to grow our buildings, what else is possible? We are just scratching the surface of how to collaborate with the living world in our designs. We've unlocked self-healing and zero-waste construction. What other secrets does biology have waiting for us, ready to be woven into the very fabric of our world? The possibilities are quite literally alive.